How are we all doing today? Got home from work 2:30ish. Was bored out of my brain. Then I went for a lay down. In the aircon it's muggy, it's not hot, so to speak. It's muggy though. I remember pulling the Stihl 029, 310, 039 top ends out the other day. I don't know if it was on a phone call or what, but I just put the new ignition coil in the toy. I took the muffler off, had a look. It's not the best. I've got the top end here. There's piston here to show you somewhere. I think this is the top end of the 029 off Reese. This is 029. I'll just show you so you know. It's written there, but you can't really read it. That's the exhaust side on the piston. Intake. For a toy, I could clean that up and use it. It won't last long. There's not much meat left here on the skirt. A little bit of a time in advance there from the screwdriver or whatever was used. Pull the clutch and flywheel off. Anyway, I've just done a bit of porting. That's still stock engine. I've just run it now on the vise saw holder. I pulled it off to start it. Tuned it a little bit. Neighbour's probably pissed off. He's coming outside. But it runs pretty good without a carb kit. It's the OEM 029 carb. I don't know what he did. Anyway, so I watched Iron Horse last night with the Husky 61 with the 272 top end. I watched him do a bit of porting. I've not finished yet, but this is a 310 top end, that good one. I don't know if I showed it on camera or not, but I took roughly 2 degrees off the exhaust roof. That's there. Maybe 3 degrees. I didn't time it. North New South Wales. It's a toy, so, and I took roughly 2 degrees off the intake, roughened them up. He's coming back out. Roughened it up, keep the mix in suspension. Transfers, same deal. I angled, I don't know if you can see it with all that rubbish in there. There we go. I angled primary and secondary. I don't know what he's doing anyway. Tomorrow this will get a wash. Got to take that broken stud out of there. I've got to clean that up, if you can see that. Still. Don't know if you'll see it. You might. I did the little things that Iron Horse do to feed the transfers quicker. It's basically like widening the intake, but I want to get it to come down. Everyone port's different. This is a trial. Just to see how it goes. And I didn't go too far, so that's that. I'll get the sand. I've still got to clean that ridge, but not really. You see how I stuck the bit in like that. Like that. Roughen the transfers to get the little bit more go juice out of it. And that's the story. I've already modded the muffler. Excuse me. It's just a little toy. These top ends come with the bootload of parts I got off Ashley in Sunbury. The K1270 rail saws come in that lot. A few blowers, of which I've since rebuilt and sold. The one I kept, it come from there as well. So yeah, just out mucking around out here. I've got Edward on the prowl for an 029, 039, MS310, 390, 310 starter, because that one's Chinese. We'll have to see it from there. Chinese. It's flimsy. Feel like you're going to break it. Now, before I started putting this saw back together, it didn't have much compression. So it's tuned on the verge of rich. If I keep the oil up to it, the rings might wear. Seat a little bit better. I can't remember which top end that is. It might be the one I got off Reese. That was straight fueled, or it might be the one that I got in the lot with that one, but I've got an 039. Engine here out of my 039. This might be it. Or was this flywheels and stuff? Brand new rings for the 310. That's for that ported top end and wrist pin clips. It says 034. .47mm, which is probably both. Fuel hose, old school air filter. I've got flywheels, clutches. Low hour. All these flywheels, the key sheared. You just know the trick to fixing that. If you decide to go that direction, I've got operator presence springs, another clutch. That's brand new, unfitted. So that clutch I just had before must be out of an MS310. MS180 clutch, I reckon. Now I've got the plastic chain brake hardware cover. That's OEM. I've also got the mag alloy one, which is there. Brake band off, I don't know. Give me 2 seconds, I think I've already looked at this. That's why it won't fit, unless that's bent. Doesn't fit over the clutch, so it's an MS 170, 180 or 023. He's still sitting in his car. Just rambling on, I'm out here occupying my mind. So that's a brake band offer. That might be it. MS170. Because there's the badge. So it's supposed to be 27 degrees tomorrow, maybe, I don't know. I'd like to come out here early-ish. I'd like to get this sandblasting cabinet off the bench, but it's full of the blasting media, which is a galvanized mop bucket full. But I've still got to do the engine, fuel tank, air filter housing, the aluminium bearing holders, all that stuff for the Scott Bonner. So I might turn that cupboard there for the moment for a work area. Chinese MS290 carb. With once I put the top end, I've got to get that rubber. I might have one in that box there, I don't know, but once I put that ported saw or top end back on the saw and find out, excuse me, if it needs more fuel, you can mount a MS660 carb to a 290-039. That Venturi already looks bigger than this one over here. I'm not going to go over there. To check it while I've got you guys on. Kind of lost the touch of doing this, getting straight to the point, etc. But I thought this might be someone might be interested in it. I didn't time the 310 top end because my timing wheel's still on that Chinese saw right there. I ported it the same way I've just done this, but I did this with a bit more thought in the process. That Chinese saw there, I widened the intake and exhaust. That was it. I didn't touch the transfers, I don't think. It does scream. I believe I have cut with it. That's 325 20-inch bar and chain, so yeah. And it's Chinese. It only cost me, I think, $65. I got two for I think it was 2 for $120. I give an old workmate one because he's lugging around his dad's old 051 and it gets hot and it stops running. So if the OEM carb non-compensator is up to the task of the top end now, that one I've ported, I'll leave this, I'll put it in a little tote box with the other little China 372 carb here, missing the top and the diaphragm and gaskets. This one had the compensator plate for a MS360. Apparently they're a straight bolt on, but you bring your impulse, you'll have to put just a piece of tag on for your impulse hose, so you can't run the factory. I don't own a 360, so I can't tell you where they are. Down the bottom, when you push the carb into position, it puts the nipple into the impulse hose. So that's that. I'm kind of struck for more stuff to say. My 281 288 hybrid saw only needs a carb piston and rings now. I won't get a carb kit. I have had that carb running on a 181. And it pumps fuel, so It'll be good enough to run a heat cycle through, or two through. That's your trigger grommet. This one's ripped. It'll still do half a job. So a couple more weeks. Maybe I'll get that for my birthday. Piston. It's a 52mm 181, 281 piston Taxon brand with, I think they're Taxon rings. I might get another set of Cobra rings for it, just to give it a half chance. It's a OEM cylinder. So there's that. I'll write that down in my book while I'm standing here. 288 hybrid piston. Kind of don't have anything much exciting to show you. Is that the piston or the top end I just wanted to show you now. Once that saw's assembled, it'll only take me 20 minutes to tear that one down there. Maybe a little bit longer because it's got Allen cap head coarse thread self-tappers screws in it that I got from the screw shop off Ballarat and Boundary Road. Fix and fasten they're called, I think. But got a whole bag full of steel screws here now. They'll be changed over. Got 2 bags actually. They're bar studs. Handlebar screws, carby studs, engine bolts for MS310. I'll write it down. Toy saw 029039, because it can be any of them, but 310 top end. It's just my daughter. Change 2 OEM screws.
Dad,
Well,
what are we having for dinner?
I don't know.
Mum doesn't know either.
No, nothing.
Come on.
So yeah, hopefully I'll finish it for a start 'em up Sundays tomorrow. Depends. So that's that. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow, be out here cleaning, putting more stuff away. Then I'll get into that. Tearing it down, putting this top end and the brand new, this is the piston. It's got that score on the starter side of the intake. It's not going to matter because I'm putting brand spanking new rings in it. And that'll sand out in 5 seconds. I've got to run the sandpaper in the groove there. But that's how many hours is on the saw. Not many. Barely run in. Not even run in. Still got blow by. Still machine marks on the piston, so yeah, look. I don't know if you'll see it. See the machine marks across it? Clean the grooves, ring grooves. Scudgeon pin still in there. Oh. But luckily there's one in the saw. I think there might be a spare one somewhere floating around. But there you have it. Because it's a windowless piston, you can't do anything, but I'm going to clean the sand, the sharp edges all here. Just cleaning and more cleaning. Round off the top of the piston. Give it a fighting chance. You don't want it to hang a ring. Chamfering all of these. The whole of the intake. The exhaust roof and sides. The bottom I didn't touch. I even got rid of the sharp edges around the cylinder, the bottom of the cylinder. So that's that. Hopefully when I put it back together, she rips a little, will be like an 039 but a 310. Actually it should be a little bit better than that. You catch my drift? Anyhow, exciting stuff. The bridge in the transfers I did mention before that I skinned it up a bit, if you can see it. See that, the bottom one? Tried to make it so more air gets forced in there because it's not hitting causing a tornado, so to speak. It's not hitting a flat surface now. When the case pressurizes, it's getting forced either side. But the guys that have been doing it for ages, they all say roughen up your transfers to keep the mix in suspension. Same as the intake. It's a hell of a lot rougher than it was. I made a mistake on the 024 and I polished the intake and the exhaust. It used to scream, but I never put it in the wood to test it because the oil pump failed. It was the direct drive, the old school one. So that's that. Hope you all have a good night. I'm going to go out, chill out now, find out what we're eating for dinner. Stew on this a bit more. I've got to clean the roof up, even though it shoots down once it opens. But once it's fully open, it'll hit that and it'll cause it to do this. Hooroo, have a good one. See you tomorrow. Hopefully might bring you along to put this back together. Except the camera will be over there. I reckon I can make that work. See you later. Hooroo.